Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 91 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon by Richard Barton, using a heavily house-ruled version of the Old School Essential System by Gavin Norman. My name is John. I'm your referee for the evening, and we have a full house tonight. Going around the horn, we have...
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Brother Lothar, the Cleric of Odin.
Hi, I'm David. I'm playing Upior, the 5th level magic user.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. Tonight I'm playing Wolfhard Cheek. I'm a 6th level fighter. Leave me alone, goddammit.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted, and I'll be playing Mortis J. Gobliano, the Goblin.
Okay.
It works.
He's the Goblin.
All right.
What are you going to do?
So it is the 16th of Gelenios. It is 9 o'clock a.m. We're going to do a little bit of retcon here as well. They are primed to go into the Fungal Caverns, but they want to take care of a couple of things first. First of all, they just recently slept in the debauche. So there's a few more things that they were going to retcon that they were able to do during that time. So one of those, because they actually started that rest at 12 noon, so they actually had 18 hours worth of rest, is that Elizabeth decided to research another spell. So Matt, what spell did Elizabeth research? Give us the quick details on that.
Okay. So she's had very limited success with the spell Fairy Fire. So basically, she researched the opposite of that, a spell she called Umbral Ashes. So where Fairy Fire causes things to glow and like make it easier to hit them, Umbral Ashes kind of like, with darkened kind of ashes blurring their edges, kind of makes things more difficult to see, and makes it easier for them to hide and harder for them to get hit. So it's the kind of thing that she'd cast on her allies.
Cool. So that's going to be a first level spell, and with our house rules for spell research, that's also, so that took a day to research, basically like 12 hours, and will cost 1,000 GP. So I need 1,000 GP marked off whatever list you guys are keeping for money.
I'll take care of it.
Okay. And you have also memorized that as well, right?
Correct. I've prepared it for today.
Okay, cool. In addition, you decided to send down some goblin runners, basically calling it Goblin Instacart. You're sending them down to Goblin Town to go get you a bunch of supplies, right, for the Fungal Caverns expedition?
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah. You could also actually do that later, but if you have your list ready now, is there anything of note that we should be aware of that you purchased?
I can start if you'd like.
Please.
200 feet of rope, some pythons, I guess iron spikes. And if this is available, John, if not, we can use a different object. But is it possible that we could find 3 lockets, like necklaces with a locket on it, in Goblin Town? Or would that be too rarefied, do you think?
That's
As
fine.
opposed to just an amulet. Yeah.
I'll make them 5 GP each.
Okay. So 3 of those.
If you guys give me your totals, I'll take it out of the party expenses if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
So find out the prices for that. It also costs you 5 GP to actually send runners down to go do your Instacart for you.
Total? Like for the whole party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my total cost, Ted, just so you know when you're ready.
Yep. Ready.
200 feet of rope, a GP per stack would be what?
5.
5 GP, another 5 for the lockets, and then another 1 for the iron spikes.
Got it.
The pythons.
Anybody else buy anything?
Yeah, I'm getting some oil and torches. It's cost me like 5 gold.
Okay. No one else?
I'll go next. I'm topping off my inventory of torches, so I'll go up to 7. I just needed to buy 4 more torches.
Okay.
But also, Wolfhard, having heard that we're going to be traveling over water, he's going to grab one of those 6-inch fish rod things that we found. He remembers when we got them identified, they were like something to do with crossing over water. So he's going to grab one of those from the stash and have that available for him as well. But he's good on rations. He's good on other stuff. So it's really just upping the torches that he's going to do.
Thanks for reminding me, Matt. I also am going to get rations. So that's an extra 5 GP, Ted.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are we bringing the rug?
Yeah. We should, right?
Well, that's a big question. The rug's in Gosterwick. If the objective is to get to Gosterwick, we don't need the rug yet.
That's what I was
We're
asking.
The
going to
second
find
one.
it there and go back. If we want the
The
second
one that's in our
one,
stash. Yeah.
if we want it with us, that means that if we get into a pickle, we can just go straight to Gosterwick. But that rug is going to stay in the middle of the Fungal Caverns, which is very dangerous. So I think probably we leave it in the
Okay,
stash
no rug.
safe.
No rug.
Yeah. I think it's fine in the stash. I agree.
Okay, so we're
Okay.
good with equipment and supplies.
Should be
That's
out.
good.
And
Okay.
looks like it.
All right. So, in addition, during that rest period, we have a couple of level ups. First is Barrios has gone from level 2 to level 3 Beastman, which is pretty sweet. So,
Right
Ted,
on.
why don't you roll us a D8 for his hit points?
All right, I've got a D8 plus 1 for a con bonus, and I'm afraid that I rolled a 1. So
Uh-huh.
Barrios, he hasn't been working out much. You know, he's getting there, but he's spent a long time in jail. It's not good for his health.
And his other increase is that his tracking bonus goes up from 30% base to 40% base. So that's a good thing as well, especially where you might be going if you want to use that. Muy importante. In addition, more importantly, Brother Lothar has gone up from 5th level cleric to a 6th level cleric. Those 6th level is a big level for clerics. So, give us the rundown.
I just want to thank the Academy. It's wonderful to be here.
You're so adorable, Mike.
Spell there, 4th level spell there. Let's roll this D8 hit points.
D6.
And
D6.
I got D6. Thank you. Woo! I got a 2. So let's see if I beat that with this D6. All right. Oh, I got a 3.
Okay.
Sweet. That raises my hit points now. I apparently lost a max hit point through the eye surgery. So now my max hit points are 25.
Great. And more importantly, you gain one 3rd level spell and one 4th level spell. Both brand new. So what is your spell loadout?
Selected for 3rd level, I'll go through all my spells so you don't have to ask me later. 1st level spells, light, cure light wounds. 2nd level spell, silence, 15-foot radius, an old person. 3rd level spell, cure disease. 4th level spell, cure serious wounds.
Okay, very good. Amazing. Cool. That also, his turn undead ability has also increased as well, which is pretty fantastic. Okay, so that's it for the level up. All right, so that all happened the night before. You also told me that you wanted to basically clear out the rest of the Beastmen compound. We're going to do that off screen because we decided that the undead were easily handleable by you. So there are a few rooms left over. Ted, you at your leisure. You don't have to do it right now. You can fill in the remaining rooms based upon the map that you got in the hallways in the middle of the Beastmen compound.
Okay.
But we're going to start. Let's see. Let's head over to Miro here for our guest viewing. We're going to start first with the Varamani headquarters. Not headquarters, but the Varamani quarters. So that's right here. You can see my cursor. So the last time it's okay. So it's east of the training hall. The big room to the east of the training hall.
Okay, that room over there. Gotcha.
Okay. So the last time you were here, when you were actually being given the tour of the Beastmen compound, like you saw like a couple of harried young Beastmen come out and like kind of gave the indication that the Varamani inside were requesting like food, and they looked like they were very harried. But you never actually saw those Varamani or allowed to follow up with them. Was that a mistake? Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
So when you go into that room, it's quite large. It's a very large chamber. It looks like that Neferet herself didn't ever go into this room, but it looks like the contents of the room were like the Varamani left in a hurry, basically. So there's 2 huge piles of fur, a water barrel, a table on which is found some fist-sized dice, some food, a bunch. It's a pretty nice chamber. I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry. But regardless, it looks like they left in a hurry. The chest, however, is open. We're just going to roll right through anything valuable that you found in these last remaining chambers. So the chest is open. It's inside. There is 2 gold goblets. They are both worth 125 gold each. Each of them is a slot.
2 gold goblets.
125
each.
Yep. There was 626 gold pieces and 575 silver pieces. Both of those are like modern. Lovely enough, there is 2 Troll Thane passports. You guys were all given these by King Weskinham, but these are very, very valuable. They're not easily obtainable. Again, they are bronze oblong discs, 8 inches long by 3 inch wide. One side has a grinning Varamani on the front, and the other side has a hammer on the back. And these gain you access to the Troll Thane's court. There is, your eyes sort of light up when you see it, and then, but you realize it's not exactly what you're looking for. You see a silver rod. All right, but it's 1 inch in diameter, which is a full half-inch smaller than the golden rod and the platinum rod that the bailiff was carrying with him. Okay, but it is made out of solid silver, and in every other way, it looks exactly the same as those. Yeah, Mike.
I just want to ask David, are you wearing the circlet right now?
I'm hiding it when we're around the goblins and all that. Do you want me to put it on for a reason to look at it?
Yeah, I want you to just see if what's magic and what's not.
We're in the Beastman quarters right now, David.
Sure. Yeah. Fair. No one's around us. Yeah, I'll pop it and look.
Okay. Yeah, the silver rod appears to be magical. The gold goblets are not. And lastly, in that room, you see that in the chest there is a felt-lined box. And the felt has 6 square indentations in it that are exactly the same size as teleportation activation squares.
Ooh.
But they're all gone. So this is the official what you carry your squares in.
That's cool. We need a sweet box to carry our squares in.
Yeah, obviously.
Hey, we have one. We have one now.
What page number should I put down, John?
Yeah.
Let's see. That would be page 213.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, let's just put all of this stuff in Laryl's sack. Barrios is holding it anyway.
Yep.
So let's just, since he's holding it, we might as well just fill it up and not slow anybody down.
That's fine.
Okay.
And we made continual light lockets, David. So who's got those right now?
Well, that's what I was going to say for everyone when John was done.
Just hold on. Yeah. We're just whipping through the Beastman stuff. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So the next rooms that you haven't explored is to the east of the common room. Okay. These are the mess hall and the kitchens. Just real quickly, everything is in disarray and chaos here. It looks like doesn't look like there was any battle here, but everything was completely tossed around. There's nothing valuable, and there are no corpses here nor undead. All right. So it's just pretty plain and simple. Next up is the sequence of 3 square chambers that kind of head from north to south. One, the middle is like they're all the 3 counts of the Beastmen. So the southern one you hadn't actually explored ever. This is Count Nikeos's chamber. He was a goat man count right underneath Count Scleros, and he's nowhere to be found. But he has very luxurious chambers as well. It looks like he left in a hurry towards the east, probably to help in the defense. But there is, let's see, what did I put down here? There's an open chest here as well. It looks like all of his valuables that he would wear on him were died with, were left or gone, basically. But their open chest looks like most of the stuff was taken by Nikeos, but there were 2 potions that were left over. One of them, 2 vials, I should say. One of them has a golden and sparkly water-like liquid in it, and the other one is a vial similar in shape and size to the potion, to the goblet, to the golden one, but appears empty.
If we swish it around, does it sound like there's something in there, even though it looks?
It does.
Empty?
Yes. You can hear something.
Okay.
All right.
Invisibility.
Probably.
And then, lastly, the last place that you haven't explored is the last Conturbs, which is to the south of Sheep Company towards the west. This is the Caprine Conturbs, the goat company. So rickety bunk beds, the contour banner is still there, and again, no corpses because when the alarm sounded, they all basically raced out of here. There's obvious passageway towards the east. But each bunk bed had like a stone chest next to it to hold their personal belongings, and in one of them you find 2 obvious potions of healing.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
What conturb was Barrios again?
I can't remember what I said. I think he was Dog Company.
Okay.
I thought he was the sheep-headed guy. No?
Yeah, but all
Your
the companies
head does not.
correct.
Sorry,
Oh, you
John.
could. Okay.
Okay.
Because I think the conturbs were based on experience and rank rather than on your head.
Okay.
So you can complete that map, Ted, on your off time or whatever.
I'll work on it.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the Beastmen compound. You have explored the entire thing. So well done, I guess.
Sweet.
And
I guess. All right. Listen, well, for passive aggression. God.
Rub it in, John.
Okay, so so you had determined in preparation so your goal is to get to find the back door, what everyone calls the back door, which is supposedly a secret exit that only the Beastmen know about, that the ancient Archontians created. You discovered thanks to our account effects and reading the books. At the far south end of the fungal caverns. So you decided to dive in there and perhaps see if you could find the lost LRCP and maybe any signs of Dano, the witch mother of the Beastmen. But before doing that, you had told me that you wanted to rest 1 more day. Is that correct? So you can be all full up?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So going back to the debouche, you do that as well. And during that rest period, Upior is going to do some transcription. Is that correct?
Transcription?
No?
Scribing scrolls or spells.
I
or...
scribed I scribed everything I needed to the last time around.
Okay, cool.
Right.
All right. So
And
then everyone just give me their any other spellcasters that I need to know about. Give me the spell loadouts for the day.
Okay, I'll start. We're going to do the continual light thing. I can explain, which would have occurred in the previous day. But my new loadout is I have Charm Person and Enlarge in my first level slots. I have the Bracteros effect and Forget in my second level spots, and I have Haste in my third level spot.
Very cool.
Ooh. Haste. Classic.
Want to go,
I
Mike?
already did a rundown for my spells. I'll do it again just because I'm anal. Light, cure light wounds, silence 15, hold person, cure disease, cure serious wounds.
Okay. Lisbeth is packing Entangle, Speak with Animals, her new one, Umbral Ashes, Barkskin, Obscuring Mist, Cure Light Wounds, Protection from Poison, Hold Animal, Cure Serious Wounds, Speak with Plants, and Protection from Plants and Animals.
Cool. All right. Okay, so you rest the night back in the debouche. So we go to another day. It is now the 17th of Jelenios.
Crazy.
And we'll say that to get to the fungal cavern, sort of the door to the cage that leads into the fungal caverns, you'll get there by like 9 a.m. We'll say like you leave the debouche at 8 and get there about 9. Is that fair?
Prior.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the continual light thing that you guys decided to do?
Here's the thought process I have, Mike. You can jump in as well. It occurred to me that it would be very neat to pick lockets specifically as a target because there is a door, much like a hooded lantern, that can clasp closed on a locket. So casting continual light, either if it is separable on the surface within or on an object in which that we place within the locket, right?
Right.
Will allow it to be a
Parchment
chamber
or something.
like a piece of parchment. Exactly. One other question I have, though, John, and forgive me for my heinous D&D ignorance, gang. Can you cast a spell on a magic item? Like, I have the magic pebble that I can retrieve. Casting continually light on it, when it will always come back to me eventually, makes it a pretty useful light object.
Actually, a really interesting question.
I'd love to cast it on that, but I can't remember if there's a restriction to do
It's
that.
fine.
Okay, so for 2 of the lockets, you guys want to cast it on like a piece of paper, and whichever one of you wants it, take it. For my locket, I'm going to cast it on the returning pebble and put that in the locket and fix it in there so that I can use it. But also, if I want to throw it. Is that reasonable?
That seems
That
pretty
sounds
nifty.
great.
Good with you, John?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So who else is taking a locket?
No, I'll take one since I'm casting one too.
Anyone without infravision should have one.
Okay, I'll take one then.
Because Barrios and I can make our way home in the dark if we had to. Yeah, you guys should have the continual lights.
Cool.
Wait, Barrios has infravision? I don't think he does.
Doesn't he? Oh, maybe
I don't
not.
think so.
Yeah, infravision 60 feet.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
You learn something every day.
You guys were all like, research the spells, and we were playing cards in the dark, man. It was great.
Wouldn't the cards all look the same though? Really?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way, Ted.
Don't tell Barrios. I won a ton of money.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you made your way back through the Beastman compound and through the LRCP chambers that lead out. Well, I'm assuming that you're going. So there's two ways to get into the caverns. I'm assuming that you're going to the cage, which you've been to before. Is that correct, or are you going
Cage.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you go through the LRCP headquarters and you emerge out into the Great Fungal Caverns of Arden Vul, one of the iconic locations of the halls. So I didn't describe this exactly the right way the first time that you were given a tour, and it was a brief tour as well. So when you exit out, you find yourself in what has been told to you is an observation cage made out of steel. The cage is about 15 feet high, and it was built by Arcantians, not by the Beastmen. Okay. So the entire northern wall of this section has been smoothed, and a steel door is what you basically come through, and the cage door is also, there's a door that leads out as well. Now, when you step out into the Great Caverns, you go from an area of relative silence that had the redolent smell of like death, all in the Beastman compound and kind of claustrophobia, into a vast, wide open natural cavern, right? So the first thing that you notice is that there is an ambient orange phosphorescent glow that comes from the huge forest of mushrooms of fungi that you see spread out before you, that is encroaching all the way up into the base of the cage itself and goes off as far as the eye can see. Now, it doesn't give the entire height of the cavern light. It's coming from the ground at a certain height above, and what are giving them are patches of certain types of mushroom. Not all of the mushrooms exhibit this orange phosphorescence. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, it's orange?
How tall are these guys? So the ones that are giving off the light are about 10 feet tall.
Jeez.
Right, quite large. And all of the other mushrooms that you see that you can just kind of distinguish in this orange light are also either just slightly smaller or slightly larger than those orange mushrooms. So let's see. Give me a second here.
So they're like in the middle of the mushroom canopy, so to speak.
Basically, yeah. So those that you can pick out because they're giving off a phosphorescence, they have about a 3-foot diameter orange cap, okay, that are emitting sort of like this kind of soft pulsing orange. So it gives everything that's sort of like warm glow everywhere, right?
John,
yes.
Can I ask a quick question? Because you're talking about orange, we've seen orange two places. One is Arcanum, right? It's described as Arcanum, and the other one wasn't the Pneuma, like the breath of the giant ibis statue of Thoth. Wasn't that also kind of orange? And I'm just curious if either of those looks familiar to this kind of.
They do not look
orangey
familiar.
glow. Okay.
Yeah. In addition, the ambient temperature, the environment that you're in, immediately becomes warm and humid. Right. So you kind of start to sweat a little bit as well.
All right.
So you can there's also a lot of sound here. That's the other thing that kind of assaults your ears, is you hear a constant hum of insect activity just kind of in the air around you, as well as you kind of hear the occasional moaning of breezes and drafts. You can kind of feel them crisscrossing across your face. You hear the plops of liquid from stuff dripping from underneath mushroom caps, and perhaps from stalactites far up above in the darkness. And disturbingly, every once in a while, you hear an occasional thrashing sound within the forest of some poor beast falling prey to another one somewhere off in the dark, and sometimes a yowl here and there of pain and or triumph. Looking up above you, it's complete and utter darkness. You cannot see the top of the cavern. It must be massive, right? Now, when you look southward, let's see. Yeah, so you are actually on the ground level here. You're not like up above the forest. So you're actually looking into the forest right now. All right. So what you're seeing is like a lot of like stalks, like pasty white stalks that are like the tree trunks of fungus, kind of laid out before you, with, I guess, the phosphorescence would sort of be up above you a little bit. Now, I think that's probably it. And also on the ground itself, it appears to be loamy, and there are lots of little tiny regular mushrooms sort of sprouting up all over the place as well. Okay.
You first, Ted.
When we were given the tour, in the cage, there was a pail of smelly stuff for your torch. Is that still here?
Yes. So there were several boxes. When you first came here, there were several boxes of provisions near to the door that you came through that had like dried rations, water skins, oil. So all of those are gone. Okay. And you can see Barrios' like eyebrows sort of raise in surprise as he sort of sees this. But you do see that there is the pail that had the paste is still there. It just appears to have less paste than it did before.
So I think he explained, basically you dip your torch in it, then you light it. And while the torch is burning, it keeps away centipedes.
Yes.
So we could presumably pre-dip a package of multiple torches, essentially, right? Like we could dip 6 torches or something, and we don't have to light them all at once, right?
Yeah.
Is there that much left? Because it sounds like it's been cleaned out.
Yeah. How much?
So
torches
there is enough doses left in the pail for. There's 2 doses left. Two torches. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Ted.
Oh, yeah.
I intend to play Bracteros effect. Lasts. It's a little confusing to me, John. It says 1 to 3 hours because he was unable to set a specific time, but it didn't mention a dice roll in determining what that was. Plus an hour per level. So I minimally have 5 hours because of my level. 6 to 8, depending on what the 1 to 3 means. Up to you, but we have 6 hours of light. I think it's worth just casting it now. Maybe 8 hours. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, just remember, we can see in here right now. Like there's that orange glow everywhere.
100%. The other thing I want to do is the 2 things I was going to ask. One is, if you're planning to use one of those torches and light them as a bug repellent, do you want me to cast one of the 3 Bracteroses on that? Though I totally hear you, man. Obviously, I know like it's not super useful because we're in a glowing area right now, but in anticipation of, is that an item you're going to want to have Bracteros effect on, Ted?
Well, if the effect of the spell increases the length of the torch, does it also affect the length of the goop?
I don't think the torch burns longer because of the Bracteros effect, just that the effect itself lasts that duration of time. Does that make sense? So maybe it's worthless to put on I'll put it differently. Though we may not need it, per Matt's point, it's probably good to just cast it on the 3 lockets now because it's going to last several hours. Does that sound like a good idea to you guys? Or the continual light lockets?
Yeah, put the Bracteros effect on them.
Put them on them.
Okay.
And then we just
hold the
20-foot torches in reserve for when we find centipedes and then light it.
Yeah, sure.
That seems reasonable.
Just as an explanation, anything outside of a 20-foot bubble can't see the light. exuded by that object. Now, granted, you have a locket, so you could close it too, like a hooded lantern, but when in use. The other thing I want to do real quick, I'm not trying to belabor this, is I have 200 feet of rope. We don't know where the ceiling of this is. While y'all are dipping torches, I can take my boots and go as high up as I want right now with that rope and just try to see if I can see the ceiling. And if my light's invisible, I won't be visible. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you want me to do that?
Do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will do that. Just to get a sense of the ceiling.
Fly a wizard kite. Why not?
So roll a d6 and tell me what you get on the die.
I will do just that. Left my dice on my bookshelf. Here we go. Okay.
Wiggle so you look delicious.
A 2? Okay, so it's going to last 2 hours plus 1 hour per level. So how many hours is that?
It's 7 hours total.
Oh wait, you rolled a 2?
I rolled
so
a 2.
It's going to last 1. So it's going to last 6 hours.
Oh, there's a half in it. Yeah. Okay.
1,
No
2,
problem.
3, 4, 5, 6. Bracteros effect. Okay.
So 6 hours.
Oh, right. Okay, and then you're going to put on your boots.
I have my boots on. I have 200 feet of rope that I'll tie end to end. And I'm going to go as high as I can in these boots with my locket, hoping I don't get hit by a 400-foot tall or a 40-foot tall mosquito or something like that.
Okay.
Would you say those boots are made for floating?
Oh, baby, are they? Ooh. You can tell
One
by
of
the
these
way.
days.
No, I'm not going to do song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you rise up slowly with your locket sort of held out in front of you as as a flashlight, and you sort of rise up, his light sort of dwindles as he goes up. You after quite some time, how fast do you move? Don't bother looking up if you don't know.
You read the description.
So you slowly rise up, and you suddenly your light illuminates that there is stalactites. The ceiling is covered with stalactites of every shape and form, and as your light sort of penetrates that darkness, which probably light has not seen for eons, you see critters, sort of like bugs and stuff like that, sort of like scatter from the light and back into the darkness, right? And you can determine as you sort of peer back down, you see like the little bobs of like little clumps of orange phosphorescence spread out before you, that you can gauge that you're probably about it varies, but the ceiling varies between 60 and 80 feet above the ground.
Okay,
very far
questions. 60 to 80 feet above the ground.
Yeah. Now, when you go ahead.
I was going to say, because the ground is illuminated, I have a vantage now. I want to see how far ahead of my compatriots that illumination continues.
So it goes the distance. So you can see that. Huh?
Sorry. Go ahead.
So where you're standing right now, you can see that it spreads out to the east and west of the cage, to the dimensions that you see on your map. There is definitely a spot of blackness where the cliff is to the south there.
Yes.
Okay. And there's also, even though that there are mushrooms that go up to the edge of that cliff, it doesn't appear that the orange are anywhere near that cliff. So there's like basically a patch of darkness that sort of surrounds the cliff in general, both in the top and bottom of the cliff. But they do pop up again at the base of the cliff. You can see that there's definitely like an elevation drop. Right? Approximately about 30 feet south of the cliff. But it varies anywhere from 30 to 60 feet, depending on where you're looking. The mushrooms are completely gone. And there's nothing but black inkiness in the darkness. But from the height you're at, I would say that you can look. I'm not going to give you distance because I'm just going to say it's too hard to judge. But at a far distance beyond that black inkiness, there are little spots of orange that pop up again in the south that kind of go off into the distance.
Can I ask one more odd question with that in mind? Taking, I don't know, like the East River as an example here. Are there any obvious occlusions, silhouettes of things that are blocking that in front of me, right? Anything seem tall or big betwixt the distant lights and myself that I notice?
No.
Does that make sense? Okay.
No. But when you're looking at it, like, it's like a bewildering array of huge, massive mushrooms ranging from like 9 feet tall to like 15 feet tall. and all with broad caps. Some of them are like trumpet-like, actually. So they have like, if you look into my arms, like they kind of like this kind of cap rather than like this kind of cap. And of varying colors and models and all that kind of stuff. Some of them are visibly like wheezing spores. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can actually kind of hear it. You know, you in the phosphorescence, you can see the every once in a while like dark flitting going around, almost like moths or bugs or something like that. You can sometimes you actually see like a whole mushroom patch sort of like shake, like and shimmer a little bit. Yeah, it's just this like wonderland of the Underdark, basically. You know,
100%. Okay, I have a couple questions, and then y'all should fire some too. I saw skittering of bugs when I neared the ceiling. Did I get a sense of their size? Are they normal bugs, or are they?
Yeah, they appear to be normal
bugs. Normal bugs. Okay. I don't see anything flying that's really obvious. I don't see like big swooping things anywhere around us and around me when I was.
You see some rather large bugs that are flying, but they don't look. They look like big dragonflies, basically, sort of.
Okay, big dragons. I don't see like a fire beetle flying through the air, right? Like something that's emitting. Okay. If I look down at this mushroom grove, I mean, you mentioned some movement and stuff, but do I see any large? Because I'm doing the full weather balloon bit, Ted. I hope you're happy. Do I see any large, either like retinues of movement, like things, or big disruptions? Like I would see trees shaking if there were a lot of things moving through them.
Yes, you do. That's what I was saying. Like when you see sometimes you see the stalks actually like shimmer. It's like something is crashing through them, and that does sort of line up every once in a while with what you assume to be like predators. Or you know, something dying in the wild or something being chased, something like that. Another thing I forgot to mention as well: the eastern portion, past the cliff, south of the cliff, basically where Ted had right where Ted's line is there, the extent of the map. That portion as well. There is blackness beyond.
Okay,
that line.
All right,
and nothing else. It doesn't continue.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I don't see any human or humanoid structures, statues, pillars, lattice work, like stuff like that anywhere other than in the cage where we're at now, right?
You don't. I will say, though, that, and this is at the far extent of your vision. I'm only giving it to you because you're so high up. But across that blank inkiness, where the orange phosphorescence pops up again, there are large chunks that appear to be too regular to be anything but like it's either something that is a structure or it is some sort of massive rock outcropping. And there are 3 patches like that, like large patches in the southern end that are like spots of inky darkness, right? You know, that sort of thing.
All right, last thing I'll say, and then Mike, you want to go? Sorry. My thought process here, guys, is I can essentially be like a floating watchtower for things that are approaching us, right? And we can coordinate it. Like a 1 tug is some danger to the left, 2 is danger to the right, 4 is pull me down as soon as you can, etc. But I think it's a really easy way for me to invisibly basically be like an early warning system for us. Do y'all agree with that? And if so, who wants to hold the other end of the rope?
Well, number one, David, you don't have to be that high. The mushrooms are 9 and then 15 feet high. So you could literally be 20 feet up, right?
Yeah, I just want to be outside of the light of the mushrooms. Sure. So I'm not visible, right?
Right.
Doesn't the Breck... Oh, right. No, never mind. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
My light's invisible, but I don't want to be visible from the environmental
then
light.
You just got to be maybe 40 feet up, like 15 feet above the tallest mushrooms. Sure. So... we could probably
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just have 2 things that I want to add real quick. Number one, the big glowing mushrooms, do they look like they've been cultivated? Do they look like they've been I don't know how you plant mushrooms, but are they like in straight rows?
No.
Or anything like that? They're just
wild chaos of mushrooms.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then number 2, I'd like to go to Laryl Sack and pull out a 6x6 square of silk. And then I'm going to cut everybody like a mouth mask, which hopefully will help protect from spores or like whatever.
Little bandanas.
I think cloth bandana is probably the best you're going to be able to do. I think silk is a little too valuable for Laryl Sack.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah. I was just doing it because I thought it looked stylish.
But yeah, otherwise that's fine.
One more thing I'm going to do, John, whether it matters or not, while I'm up there and out of sight of any mundanes, I'm wearing the iron circlet. So if true seeing is valuable to me, either in our current description or in the future, that is on. Okay.
Gotcha. Understood. Yeah.
So, David, have you looked beyond looking for insects? Look at the ceiling. Are there openings? Do you feel a draft coming out of a hole in the ceiling?
Yeah.
Is there a trap door with a big old iron ring directly above your head?
Well, and that's precisely why, Mike, I get what you're saying with 40 feet, but I think being as high as I can both gives me a sense of the ceiling and any interesting features, or the ability to kick a stalactite down on a beastie before he gets to us, for instance, right? Or holes, like you're saying, causeways, human structure again.
I just want to caution you that probably there are things living up there that you're going to run into that would be bad.
I think so, but I'd like to see them, and because I'm not emitting light, I'd like to see them before they see me, and then like give you all a warning, right? Because if they're up there, they're going to swoop down on you guys as well, right?
Spiders.
All right, so I'm gonna take the wizard balloon's string and I'm gonna tie it around my waist, and we're gonna start going somewhere.
Let's go one more, guys. The mushrooms all have caps, as in the little sort of umbrella top, whether it's pointed up or down. There's are there any of the sort of the bulb type or the platform type that grow up on the walls that you could climb or anything like that? Like stinkhorns, the big stinkhorns, anything like that?
The ones that grow on the sides of trees.
No, because there are no trees, and there's nothing else. It's it's just a freestanding forest of fungi.
So they're not growing on the walls at all.
Well, are you going to go to the walls? Because you can't. You're not there yet. Like it's like an impenetrable forest. You can't see the walls.
Can I see the walls though?
Walls too far away. We're on the cage. Fine. Okay. Well, that's all you had to say. We can't see the wall from here.
Well, fine. I mean, I'm up there and it's lit. If the mushrooms go to the wall, I'll be able to see the wall. So they go. So it appears to be that from where you're looking, that the mushrooms go pretty much flush up against the cavern walls. The dimensions that Ted's already put on the map is basically what I would say that is visible to you. However, you can see that they don't go right up against the wall. So it looks like if you could navigate yourself to a wall, you may actually be able to circumnavigate the cavern without having to actually be amidst mushrooms. But it would be very, very narrow. Like I'm talking like a 5-foot wide path maximum at any given point. Like, great thought. Almost certainly people have traversed that, and even if there isn't a trail, there's probably detritus from other people.
Well, I'm curious though, John, is there a trail leading away from the cage into the depths of the forest?
Yes,
because there was a bunch of folks, right?
It's this weird coincidence. You actually happen to have a beastman in the party who could probably answer your questions.
I don't like talking to NPCs.
I know. Like, maybe I should go to the other half of the screen where the pro retainer part of the party is.
Yeah,
Ted and Matt, would you like to ask Barrios a question?
Come on over.
Yeah. So Barrios, did you ever do a run?
A sponge.
Did you ever do a run through the fungal caverns, Barrios?
He has been out here. He has been out to the cage. LRCP is basically the only band that goes out there. However, of course, the tales of the LRCP are stuff of legend amongst the Beastmen. So he has heard that, and because he is a tracker, he kind of gets down on his knees and he sort of looks out the door and he's like, "Yes, it's exactly what I thought. As I said, there is a path here you can see," and he points out through like the cage door, basically, and you can see that there is what looks to be a narrow pathway that leads basically beeline south. It doesn't look so much that it was. It looks like it was tended slightly, but mostly natural. Like the Beastmen basically tried to find the path of least resistance to get where they wanted to go, and where they met obstruction, they hacked some mushrooms away. Right. So if you didn't know to look for it, it would be very, very difficult to find.
Right.
And he kind of sweeps his head from side to side, looking out the cage, and he's like, "Very dangerous." And he says, "Like, there's no protection here. If we walk off the path, it could be the end of us."
So going towards the cavern wall, bad idea.
There's a good chance that we could get lost. Is basically what he's saying. Now the distances aren't that great, in the end. But you're still, it's like a completely foreign environment. But he says, "Look there, the path," and he says, "If I put money on it, goes straight to the cliff face."
Yeah.
From what I've heard, there are
I like it.
they implanted spikes and ladders to get down the cliff face.
Right.
Gentlemen,
John?
I can. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Scleros did tell us to stick to the path when he showed us around.
Yeah. He did. In addition, John, I want to. Wolford's going to pull out the maps and stuff that he stole from the desk of one of the counts and see if this path seems to be noted on those maps and notes that he.
It does. Yes.
Acquired.
Yep.
Okay. So
It matches
back up correlating information.
Okay.
Got it.
Yep.
And Barrios doesn't know anything about the gap around the wall.
No, he doesn't know.
I can solve that for us right now, though. Very easily.
What, walk yourself over to the wall?
I can walk myself over the wall. We have 200 feet of rope. I forgot to ask for a grappling hook. One of you guys have one, or you can pull on a ladder stack. I can have 100 feet attached to me and 100 to a grappling hook, and I can use it to pull myself over, or I can just push off of stalactites carefully over there. But it's a matter of seconds before I'm there. And I can report back.
Grappling hook, David.
Give me that.
Okay.
And why don't I use it to
I think
fishing
the
line
thing
my
that
way
is
over there?
The intriguing thing about the wall, the clear area by the wall, there's probably like tunnels or structures or things like that might be built into the wall or whatever that might not be commonly used or explored, right?
It could also be like poison goo is all over the wall, therefore the fungal stuff can't grow, and it's
Exactly
at the wall. But I can more safely evaluate that probably than y'all. So
I am very down to just take the path. Like let David go look over by the wall, but let's just stick to the path after that.
to be clear, I'm fine with taking the path, but because Ted was curious, I can just look very quickly. It's a short distance.
Oh, blame it on me.
When I die, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, so John, what I'm gonna do is I'll take the grappling hook just to have it, but I don't think I need to use it right now. I'm gonna push off of a stalactite, and kind of. I'm being careful. I'm looking for spiders or anything, 20, 30 feet away from me. But that's basically the distance between ourselves and the first
Where are you
corner
going?
of the wall here. If I went you see where my cursor is? If I went from the southwestern corner of the cage due west, I mean, we're 20 feet away from that wall juncture, correct?
Yep.
10-foot squares. So I would just thrust off of a couple stalactites and see if the momentum takes me there.
Thrust. Go ahead, David. Go thrust.
I'm thrusting, baby.
Okay.
And I don't want to touch the wall. I want to get close enough to see it in my light. Now, granted, my light is what? What's the radius of
30 feet.
30 feet. So my light reaches the wall from that corner of the cage without me going anywhere.
Yeah. So you're not going down though. You're just going over to the wall, right? Like you're still
Going
up high.
over to the wall.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty much what you think. It's a rough hewn stone wall. It's slick with moisture. I should also mention too that the stalactites that you've been kind of layering amidst also sort of drip with moisture as well, plunking onto the tops of the mushrooms sometimes.
I'm at roughly 60 to 80 feet. If I descend 30 feet so that my light reaches the base, what do I see below me?
Okay, so you do see that there, now it doesn't look to be deliberate or in any way, but there does, like what I said, there appears to be like a maximum 5-foot pathway that is clear of mushrooms that circumnavigates the cavern wall through no intention. It just looks like the mushrooms don't grow like all the way up to the wall. And it also appears too that one of the reasons for that might be the fact that that slight little path is mostly stone. There's not very little loam there. There's like nothing for it to grow in. One thing you notice though, and it's kind of funny that's where you decided to drop down, is that right about
true scene,
cursor?
True scene. Don't forget, John. True scene.
Can you see my cursor?
I can see exactly where you are. Yeah.
Okay, so right there is a point where the mushrooms get really close to the wall. Like you really have to kind of like move your way, sort of, like probably touch them in order to kind of keep walking along the path. But when it kind of stands out to you a little bit, just the fact that they kind of grow so close. It doesn't appear to be unnatural. It's just sort of like a little outcropping of mushrooms that get close to the wall there. But when your eyes focus on it, you do see that there appears to be approximately a 10-foot wide opening in the stone that heads generally southwestward.
Gentlemen, I don't want to say that I have amazing luck or anything, or instincts. What is it? I don't know. It's just something, but wowza. Okay, so
so when you focus on that too, you do see that there is a long, approximately 3-foot long, relatively thin object that is lying on the ground that you can't quite make out what it is because it's sort of obscured a little bit by like mushroom caps there.
Do I see
That's
any
big.
bone? I know. Do I see any? I have more rope. It's fine. I can fish it right up with that grappling hook. But do I see any bones or carapaces or indications of recently or long dead things? Do I see any oozes, red, green, or otherwise?
No
liquids.
The only other thing,
You don't have to go through the monster manual.
the only other thing of note you see is that strange object that's on the ground.
Okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm
Is
take
it
that
glowing?
grappling hook and my second 100
Is it
feet rope.
magical? David, you got true seeing on. Is it magical?
Oh, is it magical?
No.
Do you feel a breeze?
It's a good question. Do I hear or feel a breeze? Do I
Smell
get a
it.
sense? Is there any hollow, like, is there audio differences in the face of that?
Are there any Minox in there?
Hold on, everybody. One thing at a time.
Oh, come on.
As I said before, there is multiple breezes coming from every direction at all times. It's impossible to discern if anything is coming from that opening. And the sounds are all around you of buzzing insects and things and spores and dripping and all that kind of stuff. So it's impossible to tell.
Here's what I'm going to do first, John. I have 6 spells in my inventory, one of which I'm going to drop atop where that rod is at the face of the 10-foot tunnel.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, I'm like 30 feet in the air. I'm not standing in front of the opening, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you drop a bell, ting, ting, ting. You guys can all hear it. It's like, quite obvious because you're not that far away.
Yeah, right.
Ding, ding, ding. You wait like 2 seconds, and something massive and large and scaled bolts out of that cave entrance, and you can't make it out. You just see something large and monstrous and awful, like because it gets basically obscured by the mushroom caps that you're above. Snatch the bell. And then like race back into the cave. All right. Yeah,
gotta kill it, guys. We gotta kill it.
All right. So with that noted,
right.
let's it's time for our first break. So why don't we do that? We'll come back and decide what to do. All right. We will be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. Okay. So I should clarify to Upior that your bloodthirst is now up. That beast that came up. That came out of that cave. It looked to be probably the first half of the beast. Yeah, came out, and that was probably about 10 feet-ish. Like
okay, that's good
a massive thing. Just so you're aware, it looked like a very dangerous scaled creature. You know what it actually reminds you of? The quick glimpse that you saw. Oh, you're Upior though, so you weren't there. Never mind.
Does it look like a giant space worm that comes out of an asteroid and tries to eat the Millennium Falcon?
Something like that.
Because that's what I got.
Yeah.
I would like to try something, but I also don't want to get us in trouble. So I do have mass charm with the circlet, guys, which affects creatures, not just humanoids. It literally says acts as charm monster.
How many times a day?
Oh, I have no idea. We've never used it. It might get a saving throw and not know it.
Though. It has to have some intelligence on it.
Well, no, if it works with Charm Monster, then.
What's that?
If Mass Charm will work as Charm Monster, then it doesn't have to be intelligent for charming it, does it?
Yeah. Okay, Charm Monster says still operates as Charm Person does, but can affect any living creature, possibly more than one, depending on the monster's level. Right. And then Mass Charm says, I'm looking at ours. Sorry, I'm not trying to hold us up, but just something worth noting. Spell functions as Charm Monster, but affects more than one creature. Total hit dice limits the number of creatures affected. The caster cannot affect the total number of hit dice more than twice his or her caster level. Right? So I can't affect something more than twice my 6 HD.
If it's a troll lizard, we're in big trouble. So let's just say,
yeah.
So and it's a 30 by 30 foot area, so I could throw another bell down, just try to pop it off and see if it works. See what happens.
I actually love that, because here's the other thing. If it's dumb, if its intelligence is 3 to 8, then it only makes a saving throw like every month.
Nice.
I know. You guys want a pet for the fungal forest? Is all I'm saying, man.
Here's what I'm thinking, though. Well, first of all, it'd be great because it could sort of trample the trail ahead of us.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But we're only 40 feet from a cliff. So we might not keep it very long. But yes, it might be something you keep it in your pocket for if we meet one on the other side of the cliff.
I think we use it now, man.
Yeah, let's do it now. It's more fun.
I mean, why? I'll tell you how many mass charms I get right now. I get 3 clairvoyance. I get 3 mass charms. I got 3 mass charms a day, baby. We good. Let's pop one up right now.
David, charm your lizard. Charm your lizard. Let's do this.
Let's pull a chicken out of the sack, and I'm gonna like soccer throw it towards the wall.
It's good for TV, baby. Let's try it. Why not? It might fail, but why not? It can't see me. So.
Okay. So you're going. This is from the Iron Circlet.
I'm essentially we can do it on camera, John, but just so you're not like taken off guard, I'm going to drop another bell again from a 30 foot up, but I have range enough to cast this from the circlet. It has a 30 by 30 like spread, so it should hit him even if he's like just darting out. It's a wide spread, but I'm going to fire it the minute I see him come out on him. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Just checking things. Okay. Sorry.
Articulating supply.
This is one thing I didn't have on my spell list, so I'm also reading it with you. But
right.
Okay. So yeah. So you drop another bell.
Wait, are we live right now? Did I just say all this?
Yes, we are on camera.
Oh my god! Oh, I was like, when we come back live. Oh, okay, sure. Sorry. Hello, audience. I was very confused that whole time. Yeah.
Let's do the chicken.
Pitching this, not thinking we were live yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you do it. You drop the bell, and the creature is going to come out again. Now, this is the second time a bell has been dropped. The creature is not completely dumb, so sure. There's a longer amount of time. And it rushes out again, and you drop the spell, and then you basically project from the Iron Circlet of Gon, or like, submit to my will sort of thing. I need you to roll me a d6, and you probably don't want to roll a 1 or 2.
Oh
no! All right, cool. Do I get any pity bonuses on this? No. 1 second. Okay, I roll. Oh, I hope I don't mess this up.
Excited this
I roll a 5.
Okay, cool. So now it's going to make a saving throw versus your spell, versus the effect, I should say. And it fails it. Okay, cool. So you... well, I guess, let's see. It can't really see you.
The players take everything off the rails. All is careful preparation. I didn't plan for this.
All right, so I'm going to try to play this as extrapolating like what would happen. So it can't really see you from where you are. Yet the effect goes off, and the effect doesn't say that you have to necessarily like approach it or look eye to eye or anything like that, right? So the effect kind of comes down from your thing, and you can see the thing sort of. It was about to sort of retract back into the cave. But it sort of stumbles a little bit, and it shakes its head, and you get a good look as it sort of shakes as it kind of comes out from beneath the mushroom caps, and you see it's a huge, like bullet-shaped, maw of with snaggled tooth. It looks like basically like an alligator, like a cave alligator or something, like dull gray. Listless eyes.
He's a good boy.
And it sort of shakes its head, and it sort of just looks around like the forest. And then it sort of retracts back into the cave.
Okay, I mean, before it retracts, could I just go like, can I do like a dog whistle just so it understands?
Okay, with that, I
can descend a little bit. I mean, it's charmed. I've never cast a spell, just so I understand it. I can go into its vision. It's not going to attack me because it's charmed. It wants my approval. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
That's how that works. So yeah, I'll descend so I'm in its view before while it's kind of befuddled. If that makes sense.
So its head like whips around and it sees you, and it scuttles its entire length out into the mushroom forest. It is 20 feet long. It's a massive creature, like huge, right? Yeah. Basically, picture like an alligator, like a massive crocodile.
Sure.
And it shuffles its way out into the forest, and it sort of approaches you, and its huge jaws just sort of open up a little bit, in front of you, and you can see its nostrils sort of flare as it kind of takes in your scent.
Throw a ration down for it to eat.
It snatches it up like sideways, and
I'm going to. I think we should explore. I think it's probably got a lot of bodies and loot either in its belly or in that hole. But I don't want. But first, I want to spook the boys a little bit. So I'm just I'm gonna kind of pull the rope to pull me back in, boys.
All right, yeah. Wolford, feeling this, immediately just like yanks you back full speed. Just
and I'm gonna say, oh boys, I have a new friend for us.
Before you do that, because you were close to the ground, you can see that it had moved over. Its bulk had moved over that object on the ground. And that object appeared to be a torch. And before the lizard moved over it, you could see that the torch had the telltale signs of having been coated with paste.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be nice to have.
That's good to know.
One question about this charm spell. Is it just for the guy who charmed it? Because otherwise, we're going to get eaten.
Yes, correct.
And he's not.
Correct.
I did not consider that.
Keep your lizard. Keep your lizard over and
God, I don't want to solo this. I want us to go and just look at this shit together. I can take him away from the hole if you want to look in the hole, or I can look in the hole real quick, and then we can get back to adventuring because I don't want to split the party any longer.
I mean, can you not just command it not to eat us?
Can I command it, John? This is what I'm confused about. Does it just like me, or can I literally be like, do not hurt friend,
Yeah, you can command. So you're going to look up Charm Monster. It's on page 188 of the Advanced Player's Guide. It's a fourth level spell. All your stuff is right there.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It says, if they share a language, the caster may give charm creatures commands, which they will obey.
Oh, well, never mind that.
It says charm creatures regard the caster as a close friend and will come to the caster's defense.
Yeah,
charm creatures may resist commands that contradict its habits or alignment.
Yeah, so it's basically like this. You don't speak its language. Therefore, it will not obey any commands that you give it. However, it does regard you as a friend and will come to your defense. But because you don't speak its language, so unless you can overcome that barrier, it will definitely attack your allies.
Okay. So, I mean, do you guys mind if I just yell over to you guys this instead of... Okay, so I'm going to go, guys, I charmed a 20-foot alligator thing.
Man. Just go through its lair.
I'm going to look at its lair.
Yeah, go do it.
Yeah.
Just
go through it. Grab the torch.
We go down. I'm going to look in real quick. Yeah. Get the show rolling.
Okay. Let's see.
Make sure you grab that torch with your left hand.
I was like, a metal torch. Interesting.
Okay, so
that's a left-hander.
you float down. Oh, I'm going to give a time passage here, by the way. So applying the paste took a turn. Levitating up and sort of looking around briefly took a turn. And then the general exploration of like the cavern wall and all that kind of stuff and doing your experimentation took 2 turns. Okay, so it's been 4 turns since we've entered here. Don't mind me. And yeah, so now we are in the 5th turn, just so you're aware. So you and kind of come down a little bit, and you look in, and it looks like that it's a natural cavern, only about 10 feet high at this point. Okay. That goes about 45 degrees southwest, and then before it opens up into what's probably about a 20 foot by 20 foot, relatively, Ted, though, like it's a very rough sort of chamber. With natural passageways that go to the northwest at about a 45-degree angle, and to the southwest by about a 45-degree angle as well.
All right. Now, so it's not just a terminus. How far did he go in? He went 10 feet in, or
about
20 feet?
About 10 feet to the southwest.
All right, and then it kind of,
but roughly about 20 to 20, with passageways going to the northwest and to the southwest. Okay. Now it looks in here that it's obviously like if you didn't know, if you weren't going right towards you would never see the entrance to this cave. Right. It's actually when I asked you like where you were actually looking, I could not believe that where your cursor ended up was like right by that fucking thing. But amazing. Anyways, there is a nest, a large nest here that's built of sticks and dung and dirt in here. It's very, very gross, much more claustrophobic than you were aware. It's very quiet, but also very humid and awful in here. The nest though is fully a nest, so there's like a little divot in the middle of it, right? And there appears to be 2 very large eggs that are sitting in that nest, and one that's sort of off to the side, solid gold egg.
Ooh.
Yes, that's cute. It's nursing a golden egg. All right.
Now to the northwest,
again, John, just
in
as a
that
reminder
passageway
while
to
you're
the
looking.
the passageway to the northwest, you can easily hear the sounds of what appear to be more of those gigantic fucking things, and they are noisily chewing on something and gulping it down.
Ooh.
Northwest. Okay. Well, that's a nice little nest you drew, Ted. Okay, so I'm not going to go to the northwest. I suspect these things might bridge with the, like stinky juncture we saw in the halls. We never went south of. I'm pointing at it. Doesn't matter.
Real quick, David, too. The only reason you're able to make out those things is because your continual light locket is glowing, and those sounds sound very, very close.
Very close. Does True Seeing pop off anything magical or anything secretive in this room?
No.
Is the egg magical?
No.
All right. I'm going to leave the regular eggs alone. Actually, can I spend a turn searching closely in this nest just to make sure there's nothing hidden I didn't see?
Are you?
Oh, you're going to get eaten by an alligator, man.
Yeah. Well, while David gets mauled and eaten, I'm going to go tuck that kid in. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Just to clarify, first I'm going to pocket the golden egg.
How big is it, John?
It's definitely a slot. It looks to be worth about 200 gold all by itself.
Okay.
Is it a real egg that is golden in color, or is it a golden egg?
It's a
made out
golden
of
egg.
gold?
Yeah, I assume the latter of the two. Okay,
Unless
just to
it was a
clarify.
dragon's egg somewhere.
Just to clarify, John, northwest, more lizards, close. Probably like 10, I'm guessing, guys, it's probably another 5-10 feet of corridor, another pocket. Southwest, no sound.
You don't hear anything, no.
Any difference in air or stench in either direction that I can notice?
Let's see. So, yeah, you can... both stanky, but different smells. You could definitely smell lizard smell coming from the northwest. To the southwest, it's much more of a like a wet fur smell coming from the southwest. Is your light still on?
Yes, but I have Bracteris effect on it. So
Bracteris effect. That's right.
See,
I forgot.
So my light is hidden to outsiders.
I totally forgot.
Which is the reason I did that, right?
Yeah. Now, when you're with the light on, and you're sort of looking around, you can see that it looks like there was passageway by booted feet.
Yes.
That headed towards the northwest.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh,
it looks like there. First of all, it looks like the ground here. It's tough to tell because like the lizards have been in this room for a long time, right? So it looks like their bodies have been dragging through, and basically if there was any other footprints, it would have been completely disappeared. But right near the entrance to that northwest passage, you can see that along either side, like hugging the walls, are just a couple of footprints, while the main passageway is completely smeared by what would have been like the bellies of these beasts, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
So the question is that recent, or is this like the booted feet of the missing LRCP?
Therein lies. It would be certainly if Mother had the capacity to lull these lizards to sleep, it'd be a great place to hide past them. or they could have been eaten up. Quick question. Since Matt's gone, I'm going to just roll with this, guys. Is that okay? And then we can. Raktaris affects invisibility as 20 feet. So if something's within this 20 feet, it can see my light. Yes, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. I understand that I've basically can visualize where that is, right? Can I, hovering, get a finger on the wall so I'm not making noise, an inch to the northwest, right? Because the light itself is 30 feet, and see if I see anything prior to getting so close that it's visible to them. Does that make sense? There's a 10-foot margin there.
Yep, I got it. Yep.
I'd like to just see what I see if I go a little bit closer, if that's possible. I'm obviously being incredibly cautious, and I'm trying to.
Yep, I got it. So, it looks to be about a 10-foot wide, 10-foot long stretch of passageway, a natural passageway, before it opens up into another chamber. This chamber, I guess you could probably get the rough dimensions. It's more oblong. It's approximately about 40 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south, and you're coming in from the southeastern portion of it. Again, Ted, this is a rough natural cavern, and a passageway leads out of it towards the southwest.
Probably linking up with that other passageway.
Yeah, it could be.
But Ted, I should clarify too. It looks like that passageway sort of leaves only about 10 feet from where David would be entering in from where we would be entering in from.
Oh, so it's very close. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the bulk of that chamber, though, you can make out in your continual light, while still being hidden by the Raktaris effect. And indeed, taking up the vast majority of the chamber are two gigantic fuck-off lizards, and they are tearing apart. It looks like they're feeding on two bodies, and those bodies you're like, at first you think they're mushrooms, and then you're like, wait a second. Those mushrooms actually have arms, and their stalks are legs. And you're like, wait a second, are those the things that we saw in Gerlad's chamber? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to not mass charm these as well, though. That would be very funny. I just bring 3 alligators with us.
Oh my god! If only we had a speak with animal spell that could be cast on you. But can it be cast on you?
You feel something large sort of butt up against your butt, like sort of nudge you from behind, and you look behind you and you see a huge fuck off lizards that's just sort of looking up at you with doe eyes.
I rub, you know how it used to the videos where the crocodile handlers rub the top of a crocodile and the eyes kind of lull back a little bit. Yeah. I kind of go, oh, you know.
Okay.
And
those are beautiful.
I love it.
It curls up in a circle around the eggs in its nest.
Okay, so I'm not going to be able to look under it at these eggs, guys. So if there's any magic items hidden in there, I can't spend a turn to look. I guess I could. It likes me if I'm very gentle and don't disrupt the eggs. I don't want to I genuinely don't want to hurt it or threaten its nest in any way.
We'll lift its tail and make sure it's female.
Okay. All right. That's for the second Patreon where we're making the big bucks. Okay. Where do you think all my art talent goes to? Okay, I got to make money somehow. So what I'd like to do, John, since we know that, I'm going to repeat the same process in the southwest corner. I'm going to try to do this really quick, so we're not getting too. I just want to see where that leads, and then I will check the nest and return because I don't want to go further without you guys, obviously. But
okay, so that passageway goes for about 10 feet, basically what you've drawn already there, Ted. It opens up into another small cave. This one's approximately about 15 by 15-ish, rough. And let me just look at my map here. And there is a southwest passage, basically on that same vector. It kind of leads out of the passageway to the southwest. Okay. Now in here, again, I know you're aware of your Raktaris effect, and you're being extra careful.
Yeah.
Also, completely dark in there, but your lights it up. there appear to be 4 of those mushroom men, those fungal foresters, that are actually huddled in the cave, sort of kind of along the northern edge, trying to kind of stay out of view of the passageways. And they look like they're like weeping, like like spores are like actively like coming out of like gaping wounds in their caps and on their sides, and they're like look like they're trying to tend each other, and they're kind of making these sort of soft wheezing pain sounds. As it's kind of sad. 3 of them are spotted, and one of them appears to be blue. So the spotted ones are kind of tiny, and the blue one's a little bit larger. And that guy looks to be like the leader, sort of.
Do I see anything shining in the light this battle, or any sort of like loot? Again, true scene as well. Do I see anything magical or anything that's like notable in there other than them?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna turn around, guys. Go ahead, Mike.
This is an opportunity to make some allies, David. If you can get these guys out of here past your friendly alligator, they're probably trapped in here.
He will still eat them.
He could command his alligator. He could make his alligator. Like if I can command my dog, he could probably command the alligator to go to another part of the room, right? To go to another thing, right?
I could like stand betwixt the alligator and them and be like, no, and try to guide them that way.
You guys
they don't attack me. First. I mean, they attacked us with Geralt, but I could try.
You should try talking to them first. Because these guys are going to know their way around the caverns.
Okay, I will do. I'm down if everyone likes that idea. I didn't want to prolong this too long with me just doing solo shit. So,
dude, you're doing cool shit. Go do cool shit. It's all good.
And if they try to attack me, I'll just go back to my animal friend. So I'm gonna just very quietly and like peacefully approach John and kind of get their attention.
Okay, like, so they immediately sort of like. Yeah, no, the blue one sort of immediately like perks up, and it lets out sort of like this sort of pip and a squeak at the same time, like it's kind of shrill, and it glares at you. So it's got these. Hold on a second. Get the. Yeah, he has a pale blue cap, and he's approximately about your height. The other ones, the little guys all have white caps with brown spots, and they're much tinier. They're about 4 feet tall.
Okay.
And yeah, he's got like pale, thin and rubbery legs. No actual joints. They just sort of bend at odd places that kind of look like where elbows and knees would be, but you don't actually see joints.
Gumby.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna speak. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, it turns around, it whips its head around, and it lets out and you can tell that it says something in that sort of weird squeaky language, and you can see that it shakes its cap a little bit, and you can see like a cloud of spores starts to sort of emanate, starts to sort of puff out from the cap in a very hostile way.
Take a half step back.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to speak. I don't imagine they know Arcartian, but I'm going to try something. They're an older species. They've been here for a while. I'm going to speak in Mithric. Safe. Peace. Safe. Peace. And see if they respond or have any comprehension of what that might mean.
So the blue one, the white and brown one sort of huddled back against the wall even more. The blue one takes like one of its rubbery legs and sort of steps towards you aggressively and shakes its cap a little bit more, and a couple of the spores sort of pop up, like these kind of blue spores sort of emanate from it. But it's definitely like it's basically telling you like get back, like go away. It does not appear to understand Mithric.
Yeah, I'll take another step back. Let me just check my spell scrolls real quick. Nope. Okay. Well, I could mass charm them and bring them to safety that way, I guess. But I don't. Oh man, I don't know. I think for now we wait, Mike, because I don't think I'm going to make.
You could try speaking to them in common real quick and see if they know that instead of Mithric.
I'll take. Here's what I'll do. I'll take a piece of chalk out, John. and I'm going to turn to the wall next to him. I'm going to take a step back because I know he's going to go. I'm turning to the wall, and I'm going to do a crude drawing of one of them, a crude drawing of a little lizard monster, and a crude drawing of me, and indicate like I'll draw myself being like to the lizard, right? And them with a smile on their face or something like that, right? Like like a kind of pictograph of like me stop lizard, you happy, right? Like,
I get it. So there's a couple things against you here. First of all, it's going to take some time to sort of do that and to convey the message that you're going to do. I'm not going to say it's like it's an awesome idea. I really do like it, but I do think that there's a pretty high chance of failure there.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? So I am gonna make it a die roll. So
stressful Pictionary to fungus.
Yeah. You're speaking common while you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm trying common. I'm trying Archontian. I'm trying. I'm trying all those.
Right. It's moving aggressively towards you, so you're sort of doing this like hurriedly. You know what I mean? That's my point. Is you're trying to get this. You know, and you're looking at the same time for signs that it's going to fucking let loose with its spore cloud, right? Roll d6, and I'm going to say. Only 5 or 6 succeeds.
Okay, I wish I could. I wish this is one of the times where I want a public roll, but here, let me roll it. It is a 1. Okay. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So your hand's shaking a little bit too much. You're like shit. You're like no, Fred, look, and it's just like stomping towards you. So you basically, if you don't leave like right now, it will lose its spore cloud. So do you retreat fully?
I have one last question before I retreat fully. Does this constitute a human-like creature? Not really, right?
No, it doesn't, unfortunately. Sorry.
I can't use charm person on this. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna step back for now. I think it's good to know they're there. I think I want to relay all this information to my compatriots. And I think we should probably check the nest for items. So why don't I go back?
Okay, so let me just do a timekeeping thing here first. Yeah. So the exploration of the second lizard cave and the mushroom thing is going to have taken a turn as well, and then I'm going to say getting back to the cage will also take a turn.
Okay.
You're going to kind of go out and then raise up.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to raise up and then go across. But before I want to check the nest real quick for secret items or magic items.
So the lizard's still there. Did you want to guide him away?
Yeah, I'll guide him away, and I'm being as non-threatening as possible. In fact, I can maybe like take some sticks or straw that have like kind of fallen elsewhere, and I'm going to bring them to the nest to tend to the nest to try to help it be like a cleaner, nicer nest. Does that make sense?
She loves that. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to like as a gesture of being a good father, you know.
Okay, so searching the nest also takes a turn. You don't find anything of value in the nest other than that gigantic fucking golden egg, which is nothing to sneeze at. So if you're cool with that, then your question's satisfied.
I'm leaving. I'm going to grab that torch, throw it in my bag.
Okay.
Up, across, relay information to them.
Okay, that will also take a turn to like go up, propel yourself horizontally by a stalactite, and then back down into the cage. So that puts you at squarely at 10. Okay.
The torch is a metal torch, you said, John?
No, it's a normal torch, but it looks like it has the telltale paste of the beastmen upon it.
That made it shiny.
So we have 3 goop torches now.
As you reset,
I'll give you guys that. Oh, sorry.
As you reset and relay the information and catch everybody up, this is actually a perfect time to take our second break, and we will be right back. Okay, bladders empty, beers full. All right, so we were just saying during the break that they were talking about possibly actually Upior riding the lizard through the mushroom forest, but the mushrooms themselves are too packed together for easy passage of the lizard without destroying or disturbing the mushrooms wholesale, so they're going to leave him be for the time being. But important to note that Charm Monster lasts indefinitely, and based upon this lizard's intelligence, it probably won't get another save for the foreseeable future, to say the least.
Before we leave it, is there any like visual distinctive features that we can see on this one so that when when and if we ever come back and need to say hi to our friend, we don't accidentally say hi to the wrong one.
You can make up one, but I'll just say that you'll be able to pinpoint that one from other ones.
Give it a little red bow tie. Just get a big red bow tie out of Laurel Sack.
You tag it like an orca.
Speaking of Laurel Sack, so Barrios is going to carry that, right?
Yeah.
All right. He's also got the goop torches.
Just put the extra ones in the sack.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Doesn't matter.
I'll give you the golden egg too.
Okay, so about an hour or so has passed since Upior's little side venture into the secret caves. So do you plan to follow the path, or do you want to go explore somewhere else?
I think we want to follow the path, but that was a lot of time, John. And while we're sitting there playing cards and stuff, were there any indication, since we were in this location for a long time, of a mass exodus of people? We know where this one trail is, but they beat it, right? Like they escaped. And if there were a lot of people passing through, it seems like there would be a good chance that there would be signs of their passing, broken stems, more, like the path disturbed more than it might otherwise be.
There isn't. Smart. However, Barrios confirms with you when you sort of bring up those concerns. He says, first of all, there was, you guys know this, he probably doesn't, that there was only one Bandon of LRCP in the compound at the time, right?
Right. We met them, yes.
So the entire faction wasn't there, right? The entire Conturbs wasn't there. It was only one. So we're talking about like maximum like 6, right? 2, they are the LRCP. They don't fuck around. They know exactly what they're doing. So whenever they retreat in good order.
Okay.
Right.
So you can see too that the cage itself, like the provisions are all gone, but it's not like they're scattered gone, right? They were taken, like they were rounded up and taken.
Okay.
Like there's no like dripping paste on the side of the pail. They were carefully dipped in, that sort of thing. So they're pros. It's all signs of pros operating.
A Conturb is 4 Banda, right?
Something like that. Yeah, Conturb's like the next highest up. Yeah.
Right. So Banda's 4 to 6 guys. We
Banda's
know
like
there's
a squad.
Lost Banda.
Yeah. So
and then there's the Banda that we just saw. So there could be, basically assuming that the lost LRCP Banda is dead. We don't know, but let's assume they are. There could be, 16 to 18 Beastmen in or around the LRCP that we might encounter.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have to think about too is like, is there loyalty to Mother magically like induced, right? Because we could end Mother potentially, and then they're free. The main thing I was kind of talking about, like on our Discord, is like, what story are we going to give them? Because they're going to come marching back, like those World War II like soldiers that are on an island, not realizing the war is over, with their entire homeland like destroyed, and like we're going to have to be the ones to tell them that, and that's going to be like a thing.
Well, this is actually a question because Barrios has been with us. Barrios knows perfectly well what we've been doing, but he's also kind of, he's exiled. Yeah. He's a fugitive. He's with us now, so we'll protect him. I presume he's not going to rat us out if we start making some shit up for Dano. I would say the story is, because we're nominally allies with them, we saw what happened.
We're looking for survivors.
We're looking for survivors. That's a simple story and easy to stick to.
Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. One other thing, just to note from the map that we got before, that a portion of which has this. Don't forget, far to the west, there appears to be some sort of stairwell and passage. So if you scroll over,
it just connects up with the. I
don't think it does. It seems like it goes in a different direction, right? Or no? Is it just?
It connects up with the Beastman territory. On the map we got from the wall.
Okay, so that's a stairwell going down to the Beastman room here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That clarifies it. So it's not a separate.
We've been on that stairwell briefly.
Okay, good. Never mind. Just wanted us to have that in our mind's eye. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it.
I say we go down the path.
Yes.
I think the time has come.
Okay. So you open the door. and you walk into the Great Mushroom Forest. Now you can see the path before you. It's not like you have to make a roll to kind of maintain that. But if a battle breaks out or something distracts you, it's definitely a possibility that you may lose the path. So you
That's what we brought Barrios for.
And John, sorry to interrupt you, John. Just one more as a reminder. I'm floating above. I would see any major movement including like random encounters, right? Like I would see things in the distance before they would surprise us up front.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but yeah.
Depends on what it is. Of course, yeah. But anything that big that would like affect the mushrooms. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so let's see.
I'm going to suggest that if Wolford is carrying Balloon Upior, then that means, well, I was going to say Mort and Barrios should go first. Maybe followed up by the Druid immediately behind.
Sure. That's fine. Yeah, I was going to keep Wolford's hands free. He's going to tie the balloon wizard's rope around his waist.
Cool.
Keep his hands free, weapon out.
He's got that big, new longsword we found, right? Or the new two-hander.
Big two-hander. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's going to dragging that out.
Do you light the pasted torches at this point? Or do you wait?
I feel we should.
I kind of feel like we should.
So
we don't want centipede problems.
Are you lighting both? Or just one?
One.
Just one. Who's holding it?
Light one, and Mort.
I can.
You're going to have to because Barrios has
hold it.
Barrios has his two hands holding Laryl Sack. Remember?
Yeah, no, I know.
I got a shield in one hand, torch in the other hand. John.
Lothar has it. Okay. Lothar's torch. Okay, cool. So it you put on that paste and it as it burns, it has like a really kind of awful smell to it that kind of repels you as well. But and it kind of gives off this greasy smoke. But you kind of
can we hold Upior so like the smoke just goes right up to him? Is that...
Yeah. So you move
like 60 feet up, baby.
So you move carefully through the forest for about 35 feet before you hit the edge of this cliff wall. Okay, it extends as far as the eye can see, which isn't very far because it's obscured by mushrooms. To the east and west. Also, tell me if at any point you want to stop and observe or experiment with any mushrooms. Okay, throughout this entire journey.
There's one thing that I think Lisbeth would be on the lookout for, knowing that this paste has this repelling property. Smelling it, getting a look at it, maybe even talking with Barrios. She, as a druid, I think she'd be pretty good at this, looking for a possible source that she could reproduce this repellent paste. If she can, right? Like smelling it, looking around, seeing what it's kind of made of, talking to him. Can she suss what to look out for?
Yeah, gotcha. Give me 1 second. Just checking a thing here. Okay, what's your movement rate going normally? 90 right now?
I'm at 90 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving, even moving on the path, it's still really difficult to navigate. So all of your movement is basically halved. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and we'll call it a 50 movement rate. Okay, so you move 35 feet within the same turn before you get to the cliff face. Carefully looking around at the mushrooms around you, you can see that. As you sort of peer over the edge of the cliff. So there's like a small, like I would say maybe a 2 foot wide mushroom-free space at the top of the cliff. Okay. You look down, the cliff appears to be relatively sheer, and it's quite tall. It's like 50 feet tall, like really big. Okay, that goes down, and it's riddled with holes of varying sizes, large enough for larger creatures to actually come out of, as well as very small holes as well. As you sort of move your torch around, you can actually see one of those holes is sort of off to like the west a little bit, like to your right, and a multi-segmented body with massive pincers slips along the wall and back into the darkness, right? Going away from your pasty torch, like, and you could hear that scuttling. Strangely enough, coming from some of those holes in the cliff, you can actually hear what you could swear is the identical hooting of albino baboons that you've heard on another level for many times. And I shouldn't say, actually, I'm lying. You definitely hear a simian hooting that is seems similar to the albino baboons that you've encountered before. And let's see. Thing. Oh, well, hell. Don't mind me.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That had... Yes, John?
Yes. 1 second. Hold on, I'm checking here.
While John is checking, guys, I have 200 feet of rope that would be perfect for a zip line. So don't go anywhere near that edge. We stake in the top side. I take 100 feet of rope. I float over to the bottom. I create a diagonal, and y'all don't get anywhere near the holes in that cliff.
I see where you're going.
Just slide on down.
Okay. So where you are and you're looking over the edge, you can see that iron stakes have been driven into the stone precisely at where your feet are right now. Like, you know, like if you went down right from where you are now, there's like a line of stakes that has been driven into the stone. Barrios just sort of nods sagely, and he's like, "Yeah, the LRCP, man." You know, that's it. But there is no indication of a ladder or any sort of ropes being attached to those stakes. But it does make attaching a rope, you know, very easy for you should you like to do so. In addition, a little bit off to the side as you're sort of looking around, we'll say Elizabeth sort of does that. She's kind of looking around for mushroom stuff. She finds a pottery shard on the ground near one of the mushroom bases of the like a mushroom trunk. You want to look at that, Elizabeth?
Yeah, she'll pick that up. Take a look at both sides.
Okay. In Arcantian, modern Arcantian, it's like it's just a piece of a shard, and there's the words on it that says the first name is Font of Magic.
Oh, the name of Thoth.
Yep. Huh. No other shards around, like something broke, or just like a piece of it that broke off?
Nope, just that little piece.
You might be able to cast Locate Object for the remaining shards. Is that possible?
I mean,
she
I think
can.
you have to know the object that you're looking for.
Well, that's
Pottery
just
shards.
a thought. I don't know.
In addition, Elizabeth,
But the other thing,
you can just kind of looking around. Looking at the paste. I'm going to say because she's like a pretty high level druid right now that she can kind of suss this out pretty quickly. The paste appears to be made out of a mixture of mushroom meat, basically, and like cave detritus, like the loam on the ground as well, in certain proportions and certain kind of mushrooms, but easily harvestable with some time and with the right tools.
Okay.
Like you can't just collect it and just say like I have more paste. Like you need to take the time to make it. You know what I mean?
Process it.
Okay, well, I guess as we travel, she will just pluck a few of those mushrooms to keep, and so then when there's more time, some other time we can make the paste.
Okay.
And then off of David's point, because I was just looking at locate objects. So David, I could go pottery, but it'll show me the closest piece of pottery. Right.
Would be that.
Well, if we put that one in the sack, it's
no,
gone.
I'm not saying it, I don't think it would pick up the one that we have. I think it would probably be like, but it could be like a completely like non-worthwhile piece of pottery, you know?
It's something it's very interesting.
Yeah, I can do that. I mean,
yeah.
We could also do entrance or, you know, like exit or something like that and find our way to the exit if we get lost or something.
I mean, we can hold off Locate Object for now. I think it's just really good. If you want to use it now, go for it. If you don't, it's good to note where this piece was, where this fragment was. Now, it may be that this is either was here prior to the forest and the forest is gone, whatever, right? This is a remnant, wasn't it? Or it was being carried by someone else and dropped while they were trying to scale this.
And if this is at the top of the cliff, another place where there might be more shards is down at the bottom.
Exactly.
I should say, too, that now that the entire party is gathered at the top of the cliff, and you are unobscured by mushroom trunks. Basically, you can look out over the vastness, and you can see that 30 feet beyond you, like below you is like the forest continues on for about another 30 feet, and then there's just black inkiness for as far as the eye can see. Now, Upior, you are up above, and you're seeing the same shit that you saw before, right?
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Gentlemen, do we like the zip lining idea? Because I'll fix that right now at the other side.
Well, my question to John is, so do the placement of the iron spikes descending, are they placed in such a way to avoid holes along the cliff side?
Yes.
Or
it looks like the LRCP chose this place to put the spikes because it was like the most hole-free span of cliff. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. And John, can I navigate that while still holding a lit torch?
It depends on how you guys want to do it.
Well, if we tie a rope on,
yeah,
we can, or even a couple ropes. We could rappel down. What's the weight limit on your levitation boots? Could you lower one person down at a time?
I can fly. I forgot I have a shield that lets me fly.
You have your shield, yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, you should fly.
It's a good thing we made him go by himself this whole time. We kept you nice and safe. That's good.
Hear me out. Somebody give Mike the girdle of giant strength real quick and have him fly y'all down.
We can just climb down. We don't got to get naked.
I mean,
you can fly down. We've got the spikes. We're fine.
Once per turn, or once per day.
I would say
2 turns.
I would save it. Here's what I'll say. The levitate says I can carry a normal amount of weight, so presumably I could carry maybe one person, but I don't think
I'm definitely flying down to the bottom of the cliff.
David, if you just hold the pace torch for us as we go down, it'll repel anything anyway, and we can just climb down regular. We got spikes.
That's good point. Save the fly for when you want to get out the cliff.
I'm down
or something. Yeah.
I am down for that. I will just say, again, let's do whatever we want. It is functionally different, except that it erases all risk of cliff adjacency to, instead of dangling a rope against the cliff, have y'all just zip line down.
It adds the danger of zip lining. I mean, John might say, roll a die, you die.
Yeah,
and the danger of losing our wizard. Which
I just want to here. I hand him the stinky torch, and I climb down. I'm going to climb down.
Yeah, we'll climb down, John. We'll tie ropes onto the iron spikes to head down.
Okay.
Safely.
Okay. Cool.
Whatever it looks like the spikes are intended to lace up somehow. I can't tell from your description, but it sounds like a fairly simple process.
It doesn't need to be detailed. So you tie up the ropes and you climb down. There's no roll to do that. It's very easy to do so. You can see that with your torches out, that you could see like a bunch of giant centipedes like scuttle out from holes, approach the edge of the light, and then scuttle back again, right? But they're fucking massive, like huge things, right? You've encountered them before, actually, but it looks like it would have been really nasty if you had been caught on the cliffside without the torches, and you drop down onto the floor after a turn.
Okay.
Safely. So you are now amidst the mushrooms again. I want to remind you, too, that the reason that the LRCP often goes out into the fungal forest in particular is that they look for the cloud cap mushrooms that Mother desires, right? So just keep that in mind if you're looking for those in particular.
I think we know what they look like, do we? We haven't seen them.
Well, I can't describe every single mushroom you pass by, so you kind of have to be like, I'm looking at this kind of mushroom,
Anything that's got a very white head, I guess, would probably be a cloud cap, right?
Yeah. So
I think they gave us the description of the cloud caps before when they were like, if you find these, let us know,
Also, if this is the thing that they seek out the most, chances are it's going to be relatively picked over in the single path that they traverse all the time.
Bingo. Yes.
Although mushrooms do just pop up overnight, and it's been a couple of days since they've been through here. So
hush, Ted, hush. Don't give the GM. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so
I'm messing with you.
So you're amidst the forest right now. Upior can probably relay to you from up on high, but you would kind of remember from looking out over that you have about a 30-foot distance to cross directly to the south before you meet the edge of what is supposed to be, what you've heard is a lake, but you've seen is just a patch of massive darkness beyond.
Oh, right, right.
Do you guys want me to Go ahead, sorry.
Do you keep going?
I think we should keep going to the lake. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you march forward for another 30 feet. We'll say it's still within the same turn. Now, when you're still on the path opens up to a very, very. It's not even a beach, right? It's just like a bare strand of loam, barely like a foot across. Like the mushrooms go right up to the edge, but you can hear it before you see it. Small lapping of water. Just sort of laps up against the loam and soaks it, right? Your feet sort of squish into it a little bit and wet the bottoms of your soles a little bit. And when you sort of emerge from the forest and peer, and you're like, you would have stepped right into the water if you didn't know it was already there, right? But right in front of you is actually a built Arcantian dock. Okay, a T section, it kind of goes out for a little bit and then just has like a small little T section there for about 10 feet. Okay. Now, your heart sinks a little bit.
No boat.
No boats.
Right.
Now, you can see a couple. So it's a stone jetty. First of all, it goes out into this dark lake. The lake is black, absolutely black. Mm-hmm. There are two torch holders that have been hammered into the sand and stone beach that is sort of like right here, just like the little bit of loam. But there are fresh torches in them, but they are unlit. Okay.
Are they gooped? They have the paste on them.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Now with your light, you can see that out over the lake, approximately 20 feet out into the lake and to the west, so to your right as you're kind of looking out over, there is a large 10-foot wide cave opening approximately 10 feet above the water.
So on the wall of the cliff?
On the wall of the cliff, yeah.
Not
on the wall of the cavern. Yeah.
So something like right here?
Yeah. Now, as you look directly to your right, Ted, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, there's a lot of stuff going on here, so there's going to be a lot of erasing. I apologize in advance.
All right.
Before you start, John, just don't forget east to west, I have vantage where the fungal caverns are. So if Ted, if I can relay what the walls of the cavern are prior to the beach, I would.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it looks like there's actually a small run, like a river, that actually feeds into this lake coming from the west. All right. So they're
north or south of that cliff entrance, there that hole you just mentioned.
So it's north of the cave entrance. All right. I don't know how to describe this really.
Is it coming out of the wall? Is it?
Yeah, it's
cuts, like a waterfall, or does it cut into the mushrooms?
It cuts. I may actually have to fucking draw this.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
I never used this, so I apologize in advance. But give me a second here.
Vindication, baby.
Yeah. You know what? I can't right now. I just can't. It's going to take too much time.
It's fine. I'll just.
There's
a river.
Yeah, there's a river that comes there. There's a river that comes out from the south, from the northwest, that feeds this lake. Okay, and it's a little bit north of the cave entrance, entrance to the west there.
Is it a fairly big waterway, John, or is it like a stream that's coming into the thing? Does it say?
It's about like it ranges from like 8 to 10 feet wide.
I have a question, John. Would I have, not to step back too much in time, but if, for instance, guys, that river next to the caverns I was at with the lizards. Did I hear any water movement when I was in the mushroom guy room that we may have omitted mentioning? Okay.
Dude, I can't believe we're still on the debouche level. This is
no, we're 60 feet. We're 60 feet down. It's fine. We're up.
That's true.
John, this water. I mean, it looks black because there's very little light down here. Lisbeth is going to smell it, going to rub it with her fingers. Is this pure water or is this bad juju water?
No, it appears to be.
As a druid.
It appears to be pure water, like fresh water.
Okay, that's good.
So she could turn into a shark and go hunt around and bring a boat back.
Ooh,
I love it. I also don't think we should,
or a sea monster.
Well, she can also confirm too that it's very cold. I should say too as well. She can determine. I would say as a druid that it's about 55 Fahrenheit. So really, really cold.
She could turn into a duck.
Well, she could be a reptile, a bird, or a mammal. Like if we need to, she can be like an alligator, like the cave alligators.
A walrus is a mammal, and it could swim and be warm in the water and bring back a boat.
I love this.
A porpoise.
I love it. I don't know. I mean, Lisbeth could turn into a dolphin, and I could be tied to the dolphin, I guess, and also I could be floating above Lisbeth if we wanted to do a double. I don't know.
We can. One thing that I'm curious about. These seem like they could be signal torches. Do we want to light these two torches and see if anybody comes over with a boat?
I don't, because I don't want to announce our presence to Dano. And I think lighting the torches on a dock across from the river they may have fled on and maybe guarding against. Like, let's say they're in this like fabled caster's pyramid on an island in the center, and they will kill on sight anyone who's approaching. We've just told them well in advance that we're coming, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
On the other hand, I also am agreeing. I want Lisbeth to turn into a dolphin and go hunting for the boat.
100%. I think
if I could, if Upior is going to ride the dolphin, is there some way we can have like rainbows coming out of Upior as that happens?
No, my point is just I don't want to take the dolphin thunder. My point is Lisbeth being able to see underwater and be mobile, and me being able to see over the water kills two birds with one stone for us in terms of scouting out the lake region.
Sure, do it. Let's just do it.
Okay,
let's go.
Okay, the only thing I'm going to do different is we know that there are these like alligators around here. She's going to be one of those alligators because we know that they're kind of native to this zone. So
I want to be.
She needs to be one.
You don't want to be that. I'm just giving you alligator for proportional size. It's like they're not alligators. They're like subterranean.
It wasn't
lizards.
One of those things.
Yeah, those things are not like water capable sort of the creatures.
Oh, they weren't. Okay, yeah. Okay. We'll do dolphin then. Dolphin sounds really fun.
Really good to know. It's really good to know.
Yeah, it's a kind of a relief. It just means there's some other predator in the water, but yeah, dolphin with a wizard on top.
So why don't if you the other length of rope leave back with Wolford because we've got 200 feet of it, right? So if we need to
I could do 100 and 100. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Matt,
yes.
Let's go full circle and be a giant turtle.
Well, she can't be bigger than like her normal like size, right? So she could be a big turtle, but you're not giant. Sorry. But I like dolphin because it's faster. Let's do dolphin.
I love it. One other thing I'll say, again, just as a primer, Circlet's still on, True Scene's still on. I am going to not be 80 feet in the air. I'll come down a little bit so that, John, if I can see any shark fins coming out or anything that might be coming for Elizabeth before she sees it, I'm going to do a 2-tug on the rope just to prepare her.
What are you going to do there again, David?
A 2-tug on the rope just to prepare her. I can do it with both hands, in fact, just in case she doesn't feel that.
It might need to be 15 or 20 tugs.
So you're just like looping the rope around like underneath the fins of the dolphin. Is that the case?
She can
hold it in her mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
Mouth, yeah.
Matt, is it worth you casting protection from plants and animals on yourself before you do it?
it seems we don't need to do that. You know what she'll do is she'll do
because you can't cast it once you're a dolphin.
I know, but she can stop being a dolphin anytime she wants.
In the middle of the water.
And she's going to be so fast she can swim away. But you know what she will do? She will cast bark skin first, so that'll at least up her.
About to say, can we up armor your druid there? That's a good idea.
Yeah. That'll up it.
Okay, so we've got an armored dolphin hauling a balloon wizard on a rope in its mouth in the dark in the cavern.
How's the dolphin seeing?
How is she saying? Well, they can echolocate. That's what you do. That's it. And then you listen.
That was good.
It just comes right back, and you just know, John. It's
I'll
like
buy
magic.
It, sure.
It's the magic of sound.
Put a locket around her neck.
Okay.
Or you have light.
I have light, so I can see. So I'm fine.
I think the echolocating dolphin is the way to go, man.
Amazing.
Okay. All right. So you do it. This whole process takes a turn to get off.
At least.
All right.
I love this, Matt. I love
probably
this,
the
Matt,
most
so much.
ridiculous party makeup we've seen so far. Makes its way out from the dock. So you, yeah. Where do you go?
Oh,
Sorry, make me funny. I just do some flips and shit.
you can also go up the river, maybe if it's deep enough. I didn't think about that.
Where do you go?
You want to find a boat. You want to find a boat. So go to the island.
Let's go straight south towards the island and see if we can find a boat for everybody else.
Yes.
Okay, so
makes sense.
So the moment you turn into a dolphin, Elizabeth, and you die, Elizabeth, you're not Elizabeth, but you're playing Elizabeth. When Elizabeth goes out into the lake, you can feel that there is a current, and that current is tugging you towards the east. So it appears that the river, flows in from the west, feeds the lake, and then, but there is a current pulling you towards the east. Now you're a dolphin, so you can obviously fight that. It's not a problem. Continuing on generally southerly, your echolocation bounces off that they're approximately, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 50 feet south from the dock and approximately 20 feet to the east. There appears to be an island, like a rocky outcropping, in the midst of the lake. Okay.
And that rocky, John?
Huh?
About right there?
Yes. And that rocky outcropping is approximately 30 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south. But all you're doing is basically, well, Elizabeth can only basically make out that there's like an outcropping there, right?
Right.
Yeah, but she's two pieces of information. With her echolocation, she should be able to tell how deep this lake is, right? Is this 10 feet deep, 20, 50 feet deep, or can she even see the bottom? Or even sense the bottom?
It has an average depth of about 40 feet.
Okay, so it's pretty deep. So she's going to swim out to, and she's still got the the rope in her mouth. She's going to swim out to that island, and then, given that the current kind of goes to the east, I guess she'll like circle around that way. And again, she's looking for a similar dock that she saw that she came from, assuming that if there was one up there, they would build another one, or so looking for a dock or looking for any kind of thing bobbing in the water like a boat would be.
Yeah.
Likewise, I can see with my light, John. So
there's a bunch of stuff going on. Just so the island, first of all, Upior from up above, you can see that it is rising about 5 feet above the surface. Okay, it is a rock formation. There is no mushrooms on top of it. There is a thin coating of sand on top of the rock, and there you can easily see with your light that there are several skeletons and a few piles of rusting metal that are on top of that island.
We were warned about the skeletons. They will animate and fight.
When you, you're looking as well, I guess primed for what Mort just said, you do see movement, but not from the skeletons. You actually see something large and chitinous crawl out of the water and onto that beach, with huge pincer claws. It appears to be a couple of giant crabs that kind of crawl out of the water.
I'm going to do a couple tugs just to indicate danger in that direction to Elizabeth.
They sort of react to your light and sort of like go into like defensive posture, like kind of pose, right?
No.
Oh yeah, you're like, yeah. Good God, this is going to be the most pain in the ass DMing ever.
Welcome to mid-level D&D, John.
We're thriving, baby. We're thriving.
The dolphin circle. You said you were circling around the island a little bit.
Yeah.
When you get to the northeastern part of it, you can both of you can clearly hear the sound of a small waterfall to the northeast. Okay, approximately. Actually, I think Upior's continual light would probably illuminate just the edge of it. So about 30 feet to the northeast of that island, there appears to be a small waterfall. So the waterfall on the eastern side of it is just sheer rock wall. On the western side of it, and the waterfall is only about 10 feet wide.
The waterfall's going south?
It's actually falling towards the north.
Falling towards the north. Okay.
I'm going to sneeze.
It's sort of gushing there. And on the eastern side, it's rock.
On the eastern side, it's the rock wall of the eastern portion of the cavern. Like the hard barrier, right? And on the western side of it is the fungal forest basically comes right up to it.
So that
so Ted, from the base of the dock, the northern dock, you basically want to connect like a sort of like a rough line that basically goes towards the east and then sort of goes and connects to the top of those falls.
And the falls are going down, right, John? They're not coming into this lake. They're falling from this lake to
down,
somewhere
exactly.
else.
Yeah. So they're appearing. So yeah.
Turtle Town, baby.
So it's kind of strange because you got to look at like the levels that you're at, right? You're at the level of the base of the cliff, right? But there's a fall. It looks like the falls go down even further. You understand what I'm saying?
So are we to interpret that there's so that's the edge of the lake comes up to that falls, and then what? There's like just
probably
a hole in the ground that it's going into.
It would probably look like a whirlpool or something, just draining the lake into some deeper depth.
Is that what you're getting at, John?
Well, you don't know. You haven't explored it. You're just hearing this waterfall.
Yeah,
you're seeing the top of the waterfall. Yeah.
It's the land of the lost waterfall.
Now, as you circumnavigate the island, though, Elizabeth, okay, southwest of the island, basically just right across from the northern dock, the southern dock is there as well. Okay, so let's see, from the base of the northern dock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 90 feet directly south from the base of the northern dock is the southern dock.
Like that?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Basically.
And the big question, John, is there a boat at the southern dock?
There is. Not only is there a boat, there are 3 small skiffs tied to that dock.
How many people would fit in one skiff? Is that one for our whole party, or would we need more than just one?
Each skiff
can 5 people on a floater.
Each skiff can seat 5 people, and there are 2 oars per boat.
Oh, so we're great, and we got 1 dolphin.
That tells us. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. All the boats look to be about the same level of care and like decrepitude. Are they new? Are they old? Are they sinking? Are they fine?
Well, Elizabeth can't see, but Upur, you could probably see if you're kind of hovering around there that one of the boats appears to have not been used in some time, but 2 of them show definite recent usage.
Is there anything in them? Equipment, etc.?
No.
Okay. I guess. I mean, guys, do I see beastmen around? Do I see like any equipment on this other side of the shore next to the dock, crates, et cetera, et cetera? What do I see? I mean, I guess is the question. Yeah.
From this distance, you can't see a path because you're looking out over top of the caps. of the mushrooms. Okay, but now you are looking on the southern side of the fungal cavern. So like the caverns basically sprawl out to the south, with orange phosphorescent glow, the whole thing, right, the whole 9 yards. But now you can clearly make out the rough dimensions of those black spots in the middle of the forest, right? You can't tell what they are because they're still too far away, but you can kind of make out the dimensions. So approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 60 feet south from the southern dock, there is a actually, let me just check to see if it's natural or man-made. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay. About 60 feet south from the dock, there is a sheer, obviously man-made or made by sentient creatures, a wall of blackness that just separates the mushroom forest on either side, and it's approximately 40 feet long.
Does it look like obsidian to me?
40 feet wide, I should say. Okay.
Does it have a shimmer on it like obsidian?
No, you can't. It's beyond your vision, right? So you can't really, but and then approximately 20 feet to the west of that, there is a promontory that looks to rise about 50 feet up. So it goes really close to the ceiling of the cavern.
So the wall is right there?
Yeah. Let me see here. It's actually a little bit south of that straight facade, Ted. I'm sorry. It's approximately about 20 feet south of that facade.
But it's a promontory from the wall.
No, it's actually in the midst of the forest. And
I think that's go ahead, John.
Sorry, it's about
a tomb.
So you can't. I wouldn't even draw like a full circle, Ted, because he's only looking at the front face of it, right? But it's a rough natural promontory. It's roughly about 40 feet. Is like the facade that he's sort of seeing from his angle.
Do I see any lights atop it, like torches?
No.
Okay.
I think that's that tomb, guys.
Yeah, I do
that
too.
We were looking for.
Yeah.
And to the east, let's see. This one's it's so hard to describe. Basically, going from a southwest to northeasterly direction, there is another natural promontory that starts about 40 feet off the ground, and it's about 30 feet from. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's just really hard to describe.
Hey John, can I do something that might make this easier for all of us? I have 3 uses of clairvoyance. I could just pop it off on these features, guys, and he could give us a detailed description.
Oh, you have to have light to see, even with clairvoyance.
Yeah, there's light from the fungal.
I think this is. I'm getting a pretty good picture of what he's describing.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I get 3 a day. It'd be useful to see. If it helps us mapping, it makes sense. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the session's about to end anyways, but let me just give you a brief. So there's another natural thing, and it goes from the southwest to the northeast, and it goes for. I'm just going to give it to you, even though your site can't really make it out totally. 1, 2, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. About 100 or 110 feet from southwest to northeast. There is a promontory, and it rises. It starts low in the southwest at about 40 feet up from the cavern floor, and it rises up to about 60 feet at the northeastern tip. Okay. And then, Ted, I would probably shunt that entire line down by about 40 feet or so. Just like pick up the whole thing and just shove it down 40 feet. And then you're closer to, well, I mean, directly down, but yeah.
Oh, right. I don't know why I.
Not a big deal. It's about 30 feet east of the east-west line there. Yeah, there you go. Somewhere right around there. Yeah. Okay.
We are, I think, starting to hit the limits of what Miro can handle.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, promontory. So there's a man-made thing that's directly in front of you, and then there's two natural promontories on either side. Is basically what I'm kind of getting at. Surrounded on all sides by forest. Okay.
All right. But we found boats. We got the island. We've got a dolphin and a wizard balloon.
Hell yeah.
This is epic.
So, David, if Upior could descend into the boat, then the Elizabeth Dolphin can just tow the boat right back.
Coming back. It's a good idea. I will do that. Do we want to scuttle the other boats?
No.
Or leave
No.
it? Okay.
No.
All right.
No, we don't need to.
I will descend very cautiously, because although my light's not visible, I am. And if I see any sense of movement or anything like that, John, I'm going to just cease my descent. But I will try to descend to the boat on the tip of the dock there.
Okay, cool.
Good one.
You can do that, no problem. It's the end of the session. We can basically hand wave if you want to separate yourself from Elizabeth and then row the boat back. Is that your plan?
Oh no, I was going to tow him back.
When she could tow me. Yeah, she can tow me.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do that too. I can buy that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just bringing one boat back, right?
Yeah.
Will you?
I mean, I can tie the other two boats to this one, and we can pull them all back.
David, one is a wreck anyway, and then let's yeah.
So let's just take one for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one. But I think that Matt will need to do some echolocation to find his way back. Right? There you go. Thank you.
I got
Okay,
it.
so I'm going to say the general exploration by the dolphin takes like probably about 2 turns, and then another turn to get back. We'll say, just put it as a round number. So we're going to end it at about 11 a.m. So you've got the okay. So you're all back on the northern dock with a boat. Cool.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Success.
All right. Sounds good.
Well done, Elizabeth. That was awesome.
Yeah,
what a good idea.
Very, very cool
man.
idea. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll leave it there. A good fresh spot to jump off from for the northern dock and explore further. So cool. All right, well done, guys. That'll do it for episode 91. You've been watching and are listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. We hope you enjoyed it. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications every time we publish new material. If you want to throw us a few bucks, join our Patreon. You get a few extra bennies. Help support the broadcast and the channel. Check out our publication, Feats of Exploration, and join our public Discord, which has lots of really cool folks interacting at all hours of the day. And thanks, as always, to all of our patrons, our explorers, delvers, and especially our conquerors. David has the honor tonight. Take it away with the conquerors, David.
All right. Thank you again, guys. It means a lot to us. First off, Doc Jones 73, Snords, John Hooker, Kayla Ripley Wolf, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Collar, maybe the best on the list, Dave Rosser Jr., ooh, Team David, Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Casenberry, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, the Kabrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Jeff Tokach, G Tokyo Time, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, Ted Gast, James Doig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabrielle, the Hexbrawler Twins, Summon Toast, Dragonheart Adam, Scott Earsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dyer Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, not Matt but not least, and the rest of our Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Numbers don't equal power. Go, Dave. Thank you all. It is the world to us, truly.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
So much.
Elvis says thank you as well. And everyone have a great night, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
See you later.
Thank you, John.